we'd like to wrap things up, but we really appreciate you, Dennis, as I just love your style. You ask the tough questions, and
not exactly, but a little like Peter Falk and Columbo. You're sort of you're quiet. You get a couple of things out, and then
exactly.
I'm just too dumb. I have to ask naive questions.
No. Yeah, that sounds like Peter Falk. Well, Dennis, give us your impressions. I mean, you commented earlier, but do you have some words of wisdom for us here?
No, I mean, I can certainly see a difference from a few years ago. Definitely, the companies that we've seen today are much more mature than we saw before. Their business plans are starting to really coalesce. I think that we're starting to see kind of real pathways of how people can actually operate as businesses. I do think that we still have a little bit of a nomenclature issue and what we're calling this. And I think that, I'm still trying to figure out the right analogy here. I guess I think healthcare and longevity, and then underneath it, there's a whole bunch of things going on. I'm trying to, and maybe it's not a fair way to do it, but, trying to bucket, is there a bucket of biomarker companies? Is there a bucket of, mitochondria? I don't know I'm not exactly sure how to bucket it yet. And I'm not exactly sure. I mean, one of the things that I'm trying to think through is that, where do we stand with the money and the ideas in the sector? Is there too little money and too many good ideas? Is there too much money and not enough good ideas? One of the things that I mentioned sorry earlier, sometimes I think we're kind of where the biotech industry was after the Genentech IPO.
Right.
Did I mention that before here?
Yeah, I love that story.
And I just want to make sure that, that we're not funding science projects, but we're really funding toward a goal. And, I said this before, I mean, as an investor, whatever type of investor you are, if somebody gives you $1, you just got to give them back $2.
Dennis, can I make a comment about that? I must say that on this second annual ECS, Emerging Company Showcase, one of the things I've come away impressed again is really the number of really interesting stories that people are working on. How it's presented has a great deal of variability. We saw last time and we see this time as well. Just not to pick on people, so I'm just sort of thinking about Ryan at True Diagnostic or whatever. Amazing, fecund, productive work, and all that time spent talking about the various things they did. But I don't know what they were trying to do, get investors or tell their story, publicize. They got to tell us how are people going to make money? So
yeah. One of the things I was thinking about, I was going to come back to you guys with maybe some thoughts or suggestions, but one of the things I thought we could do is we could establish some kind of boot camp.
Yeah.
For how do you talk about your company? Because I agree with you, Thomas. It was very variable. Sometimes I was, and I know these are only 15-minute, kind of presentations, but you'd be half through it and you wouldn't know exactly what the company did or where they were going or whether they needed money and so, in the traditional biotech world, there's these things, these boot camps where people go and they kind of learn how to present and learn, do this kind of stuff. I don't think that would be the worst idea for companies in this sector to, that's something we could really sponsor. And
Yeah.
I think it's
they're very well received because, there's no reason that anybody that's starting in the sector should know any of this stuff. So I think,
or reinvent the wheel. They can come
reinvent the wheel. So there's no criticism.
We think there's value in them getting the recordings so that they really pay attention and take a look and see how they appear. And that's one of the things that we are so happy to be able to do is give the recordings to these folks because as they say in journalism, sometimes you bury the lead. You never bury the lead. And that's happened.
Yeah. Although my own comment to that one would be that I could look at myself and I could think I'm doing a good job, but I'm really not.
Well, you are doing a great job.
Still don't know what I do. You still don't know what I do. But so I think there's some educational stuff we can do here to help companies, because as we move forward, there's going to be a lot of money put into the sector, and we're going to have to present the sector to the broader investment world in a way that's going to attract the capital, because if we can't attract the capital, we're not going to be able to move forward. So,
before we sign off, Dennis, sorry, go ahead, finish.
No, I for one totally believe the capital is going to be there. This just affects everybody.
That was the point I wanted to ask you. I mean, aside from the fact that it's important and the money's got to come, but we've had discussions before about how you see new money coming into the space because of COVID and various other things. Now that you've heard a second year of these companies, what's your view about whether some of the new money, the family offices and so forth, are these going to be attractive stories if packaged and told properly, easily, to attract funding? What's your view?
I think they are. I'm kind of thinking of a spin on that a little bit also, which is that for sure the timelines are a little bit longer than people are used to, so we have to deal with that. So I'm thinking, and what we have coming up in the next number of years is the greatest intergenerational transfer of wealth ever. And so if you have some patience and you're trying to get, and you're giving away your wealth, is there a way that, investing in things like this, maybe some way, I have some ideas, but I do it on a tax advantage way, that attract this ton of family office interest, because, once they get it out of their state, and if companies work and stuff like that, it grows tax-free.
Let's put it on the national policy agenda.
Tax
incentives for investing in healthy longevity. There you go.
Love it.
I mean, there are other things that have been, one of the things we have to think about when we talk about that issue, Adrian, is that, I can't remember if somebody mentioned it here, years ago, the German government decided.
Oh yeah.
And then it just all fell apart.
Right.
There was 1 year, I can't remember the year, like 98 or 2002 or something. There was more companies started within a 25-mile radius of Munich than anywhere in the world. And then when they got to the Series B and Series C, they just all fell apart.
Yeah.
So we have to be thoughtful about what we want to ask the governments for and stuff like that. Because over the years, there's been stuff like R&D tax credits. Right. That have worked.
I lived through those. I lived the real estate tax credits too that were very harmful.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis, you've been a great friend to Metabesity. We can't thank you enough. You're an icon, a legend in your own time. My gosh, we are so honored to have you as a part of our effort here.
And we want to follow up with you offline about some of the things we've been talking about too, absolutely. But
it's suspense. Zan, it's my honor to be affiliated with you guys.
Well, well, we do need to wrap it up, but Dennis, you've been great. It's been a terrific 4 days, and we're going to do it again. We'll be having some webinars in the meantime. We're going to bring Dennis back, I hope, for a webinar, so you don't have to wait a whole year.
All right.
We'd love to take full advantage of his wisdom.
And watch for your prizes and our award ceremony on the campus.
Oh, did you mention that the winners of the bucks, the Metabesity bucks and so forth? Sorry, this year we didn't have that algorithm so that we could open the envelopes now at the end and disclose the winners. But Adrian, we're going to post them, I guess, on the website.
Several things we're going to be posting on the website and the campus of the winners that were the companies, and you will be receiving a thank you and your gift if you are the winners with regard to all your points on Cadence. So everybody's a winner here, right?
And do check the posters that were submitted. They were high quality submissions, and we really appreciate the young folks who put them in. We're going to try to expand that program for next year. but we do need our young folks to pick up the flag and allow us older people to rest a little bit.
That was a surprisingly interesting this morning session. Just right off the bat, Celine made 3 points, and I just learned different perspectives about how to think about these things.
All right. Well, from Harper's Ferry, not too far from the capital of the United States, we're
signing off, I guess, for now, for 2021, but let's keep the conversation going. This is not one and done. We can keep talking, but in any case, please reserve October 10 to 13, 2022 for the next edition.
And visit our campus. And last word from Harper's Ferry. Go ahead, Zan.
Well, do come and visit Harper's Ferry, but we will, I think, be back for a real meeting in October.
It's a hybrid meeting, but so definitely let's meet in person for those who can make it.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.